What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream. We are back with some more Terra Luna content. We're going to talk about the overall crypto market. Also jump in on what is going on with all the altcoins out there as well. So welcome in. Glad to have you back. And let's see what's going on. Good morning, Robert. How we doing? Chase. Good morning, Zach. Good morning, DGens. I think you're a DGen too, Zach. Oh, yeah. We like to DGen a little bit. Hope everyone is well. Luna is running. Let's fucking go. What's up? What's up? What's up? Justin, what's happening, man? Good morning, Zach, and all crypto friends. Hope everyone's having a bullish start to their day. What's happening, man? What's happening, Justin? Guys, go ahead and smash that like button on your way in. Definitely hit that like button. Let's get rocking and rolling here. We're going a little bit early here. I understand that. Well, earlier than my time set. I know I usually go on at 9. I'm a little bit late from that, but we are back with another one. Guys, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. A lot to get to, guys. The Terra Luna and UST crisis continues. Of course, Quan unveils Revival Plan 2. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about if it's a good time to buy Terra Luna before a possible hard fork. So a lot to get to today. I've been waiting for this since I got to work today. Sorry about that, man. I was a little bit late. I understand that. A little bit late getting on the stream today, but we are here and we are ready to go. So I'm just going to do a couple editing things here on the back end of YouTube. Let me put the slow-mo chat on, which I always forget to do, so I can read these chats a little bit better. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we are all set and ready to go. So welcome in, everybody. A lot to get to, a lot to unpack here this morning. So we're going to start with, is it a good time to buy Terra Luna before the possible hard fork? So we're definitely going to dive into that here in just a second. We're going to look at the price a little bit as well. So good morning, everybody. So what does this hard fork do? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Isaac, what's happening? Sunglasses on for the setup you have today. Maybe. Yeah, hold on. Actually, should I go grab them? Hold on, let's see. It's a nice backdrop, right? Looking good with the Lanai backdrop. Good morning. Good. What's happening, Ryan? What's happening? What's happening? Luna is popping. Yeah, a little bit. Let's jump into it here. Let's see what's up. Let's see what's up. Here we go. Okay, here. Let's bring in the chart. Here, let's start there, right? Not a bad place to chart. Not a bad place to start looking at the chart. All right, so yesterday we nosedived. All right, back down in here into the 12s, right? Nice little reversal here. These are 30-minute candlesticks. So yesterday we reversed here. We bounced off this 12 level, actually popped all the way up to the 23, 24 level again. And then we've since kind of just leveled off. So if we zoom out a little bit, again, these are 30-minute candlesticks. We can see that this thing, it's basically just kind of consolidated here for the last couple of days, really. I mean, it was a day trader's heaven back in, back 3 days ago, 4 days ago, where it really popped, right? This was back on the 14th. But over the past couple of days, it's been a little bit quiet compared to where it was and how it was moving. I do really think so. We need to wait for this new version of Luna. Did the Luna governance approve? They're going to be voting on it. We're going to talk about that. We'll break it down. WAGMI pump. Oh, really? Nice. Let's see that. Hold on. Let's see on Dex Tools. Guys, hit that like button if you're on your way in here. Let's see here. Dex Tools. Minimize that down a little bit. WAGMI pump. Oh, yeah. We're up back up about 40%. Nice. I think they just got a big buy. I think that's the news on the street here. Yeah, nice green candlestick, reversing a little bit. Good to see the overall market just kind of trading sideways a little bit and finally finding its floor. I think it's safe to say we found our floor, but we'll continue to watch that, of course. We are up a little bit today. Bitcoin is up over 30,000. Good to see. Ethereum still holding steady over 2K. So that's good. A little bit today. All right. All right, let's jump into this article here. Guys, hit that like button too. If you're new to the channel, make sure you consider subscribing as well. Is it a good time to buy Terra Luna before a possible hard fork? So Terra Ecosystem Revival Plan 2 met with bearish response. Luna price dropped down about 19%. Again, right now we're down about 1% on the daily. We are experiencing a nice little pop in the price here. Okay. But the hard fork proposed by Quan would create two versions of the token, essentially, Luna Classic and Luna Core, similar to what Ethereum went through, right? And why we have Ethereum Classic and Ethereum, what we know as the real Ethereum, right? Because you have that hard fork, and it was actually a hack. And that's the reason why we have Ethereum Classic, because the original Ethereum got hacked. So we would have Luna Classic and Luna Core. Luna Core would be the original one. LUNC holders will receive Luna tokens. That's Luna Classic holders in a fork inspired by Ethereum's 2016 DAO hack. And again, that's the reason why we have Ethereum Classic. Leading crypto analysts divided on Terra Luna's recovery prospect. So it says here, Terraform Labs move to revive native token Luna without stablecoin UST is similar to Ethereum's hard fork of 2016. So there were a lot of big questions yesterday. Why don't they care about UST? Well, that's how it was, a way back. That's how this whole thing came to fruition in terms of the peg to UST. And that was derailed. So now it looks like they're trying to move away from the connection with the stablecoin altogether. They're trying to just hard fork and launch essentially a V2 or a new token, right? That's what it looks like. Good morning, Libre. Good morning, Dan. Yeah, we'll look into it. The actual proposal vote isn't until tomorrow, right? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Guys, as you're coming in, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's keep rolling here. The algorithmic stablecoin UST will cease to exist once the revival plan is implemented, since Terraform Labs CEO Quan believes Luna is more than Terra USD. So he's basically saying, without saying, that he values Luna more than the stablecoin itself, and that Luna could exist on its own without the stablecoin, right? That's really what we're getting out of this right now. So Terra's Luna could recover from crash with proposed hard fork. In an attempt to promote Luna's recovery and to compensate token holders, the co-creator of Terra, Quan, put forward, quote unquote, Terra Ecosystem Revival Plan 2. Still, Luna continued to shed its value with the 24-hour trading volume exceeding 2 billion. The Terraform Labs CEO explained the logic behind the new proposal for the fork. And he says that it's made up of hundreds of developers, large number of holders, and strong brand name will be preserved through the implementation of the proposal. One of the things they've proposed to do is give tokens to the most loyal people that held Terra Luna, amid this crisis, right? To basically keep the base that he has. He doesn't want to, basically piss anybody off that's held through this downturn. So the Terra fork is set to do a couple things here. We're going to jump into it. Terra fork to set two parallel blockchains, Luna Classic and Luna Core. So this is what this could look like. Quan has recommended retaining both blockchains, the original being Luna Classic and a parallel being Luna. By the way, VeChain offered to help with a move to layer 1. They wanted to give $30,000. I don't know if you guys saw that yesterday. VeChain vet reached out. First sip, guys. Have a sip with everything you're doing this morning. Sorry, guys. We have a super chat here. Check out EV3 Shiba Doge Predator Crypto D behind it. Jake, thanks, man. Thanks for the $10 donation. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to get into whether or not it's a good buy here, but we want to break down kind of what's the latest here. So the total supply of the new Luna core chain would be capped at 1 billion tokens, following the tokenomics detailed below. 25% community pool. Here it is. You could break it all down right here. Let's see. Let's highlight this. Green. 4% to the essential developers, 1% to essential developers emergency allocation, 35% all bonded, unbonded Luna minus TFL at pre-attack snapshot, 10% for Luna holders at the launch, 25% for UST holders at the launch. So they're basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to help anybody who got hurt by UST, but they're really trying to move forward with Terra Luna, and they want to have basically control of 2 blockchains here. The original being Luna Classic, LUNC, and a parallel being Luna. So that is really their goal here. They want to move forward with 2 blockchains, and whatever happens to UST, they're not as concerned with it as they are with Terra. Now, the revival plan does not have provisions for traders that sold Luna during the crash and holders that were locked out of their UST tokens in exchange wallets due to the exchange's decision to halt trading. Therefore, UST holders from exchanges like Coinbase have criticized Terra's move. The fork could be a milestone event for Luna and UST holders and aid the token's recovery. Now, the hard fork proposal will be voted in the Terra community tomorrow. That is the big date. It will be voted on tomorrow, okay? So we will, of course, bring you up to speed on the latest when we have it. Are you still bullish on Apollo Inu? Very, very bullish. My tokens are currently locked up right now until August, and I'm totally fine with that. Not going anywhere. I'm bullish on a lot of small caps, including Apollo, WAGMI. There are many small caps that are going to make it out of this downturn. I think we've hit rock bottom. I think we're heading on the way back up now. Many of them won't. We'll get into some of those here in a little bit. I do want to move away from Terra a little bit once we kind of break things down and bring you up to speed on the latest here. So let's see what Quan was saying here. Finally, we got some good insight here. He says, Terra is more than UST. It has been inspiring to partake in the dynamic discourse regarding the best next steps for Terra. Taking feedback from the community and thoughtful proposals, I would like to suggest the following for the path forward. Currently, these key prospects underpin most schools of thought. The lunatic community is unparalleled in its passion. The builder talent pool is broader and deeper on Terra than most ecosystems. Terra's blockchain is incredibly robust, as attested to by recent events. At the same time, however, competing interests from varied stakeholders, whether they're holding Luna, UST, etc., make it extremely difficult and unlikely to achieve consensus on a cohesive, congruent plan. Therefore, it would be devastating for broader crypto adoption and advancement if we remain in entropy amidst opposing views. And as such, I propose the following to chart the path forward for the ecosystem. The Terra chain, as it is currently constructed, should be forked into a new chain without algorithmic stablecoins called Terra, and the old chain be called Terra Classic, similar to what happened with Ethereum. Both chains will coexist. Now, new Luna will be airdropped to LUNC holders, Luna Classic holders, residual UST holders, and essential app developers. So also, TFL's wallet will be removed from the airdrop, making Terra a fully community-owned chain. Guys, welcome in, everybody. A lot of new people popping in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. We're breaking down what's going on with Terra, but then we're going to move away and talk a little bit about the overall market and where we are too. It says here, we believe this token distribution, in addition to best efforts by LFG to make UST holders whole, best solves for the varying interests and time preferences for each stakeholder group. The most important, creates the most viable path to revive the Terra ecosystem. Terra 2.0 is focused on developers. Developers will get an immediate emergency allocation of Luna tokens to fund Runaway, as well as the pool of tokens earmarked to align the interests of base layer with its builders. It says here, we encourage Terra developers to signal support and commit to build on the fork on public channels ASAP. TFL will be initiating a governance proposal for the network fork in the next few hours. If the proposal passes, Then it will coordinate the fork with validators next Friday. But again, the actual community vote is tomorrow. The Terra community is my family. I will always be here no matter how hard it gets. Let's build it back up together. So that is kind of what we're dealing with right now. Let's see. Okay, so we kind of mentioned how this is very similar to Ethereum's DAO hack back in the day, right? The Ethereum hard fork was a bailout to rescue the blockchain and its stakeholders from the negative impact of stolen funds to the tune of 50 million. We still don't know exactly what happened here, but I think something like this happened. I think it is similar to what happened with Ethereum. Since the hard fork, the Ethereum network has witnessed massive growth. Proponents believe the upcoming Luna hard fork represents a bailout strategy for the ecosystem after the coordinated attack against its algorithmic stablecoin. Experts right now are pretty split on Terra Luna's price recovery potential, though. How will it bounce back? Will it bounce back? So a crypto analyst, Glabir Contesto, a crypto leading analyst, believes purchasing Luna at this point is a high-risk transaction, as the Luna Foundation or Luna Foundation Guard, the LFG Council, has already utilized nearly $3 billion of its reserves trying to save UST, the stable, and the new revival plan does away with Terra USD entirely. So he believes it's very risky because they've spent so much money trying to bring back UST, and now they're basically saying, yeah, screw it, we don't need UST. Like, they're basically saying we spent all this money trying to revive it and selling off the reserves, and it looks kind of sketchy from his point. And I mean, I get it. I totally get it. Now, another leading crypto analyst and developer believes Luna price could recoup some of its losses. Luna price is attempting to break out and a close above hourly resistance at the 2.0. Where are we at right now? Right now we're at the 18.5. So a close above the above the 207 would confirm an uptrend here. So that is kind of one of the things we're waiting for. Guys, welcome in. Hit that like button. We're breaking things down here, bringing everybody up to speed on the latest, what's going on with Terra Luna. We're also going to, go off into a couple of different directions here during the live. I got to get some more coffee here in just a sec, but let me break it down here. So let's see what else we got. Attempting to break out. Let's see if it can close the hourly above resistance around the 207. Hopefully turn resistance into support and possibly continue up. So this is from Simon Hayes, breaking this down, the chart here a little bit. We did get some information from Quan, so that's good. I mean, I think that gives people a little bit better understanding, and people feel a little bit more comfortable investing now that there's a plan moving forward, right? So is it time to buy the dip on cryptos? Terra Luna's collapse brought the whole cryptocurrency market down, with Bitcoin price and all the altcoins suffering heavy. This might have presented a good buy the dip opportunity. Is it time to go long on Bitcoin? I'm buying a Bitcoin every day, by the way, guys. Now, this is another aspect of it. This is interesting. South Korea launches emergency inspection after Terra Luna's and UST collapse. That is something interesting. Hey, what's up? CVC's in the house. Hey, Zach, hope everything's going well. CVC live tomorrow. DigiFinex just signed 4 more exchanges. Tier 1 global staking and Bad Bridge coming soon. What's up, man? What's up, Keith? How we doing, brother? Thanks for popping in, man. Good morning, Scott. Good morning. Good morning. Happy to hold your Dust Luna coin. What's up, man? What's up? Appreciate the live analysis, Zach. So many channels just have fear and panic info. What's up, brother? What is going on, everybody? Guys, hit that like button here on your way in. Up over 750 people hanging out with us. Man, I'm so grateful for everyone out there, man. This is awesome. Really, really enjoy having you guys, and just love doing this every single day. Jake, thanks so much for the $5 donation, man. Appreciate you. Enjoying it, man. You guys are awesome. CZ was happy with Quan's choice, judging by his tweet. That's good, because CZ was very vocal. So was Vitalik. Vitalik was pretty vocal on what he wanted to see. Team Rexos, I appreciate you, brother. When Shibarium. I know, bro. Sometime this year, man. Sometime this year with Shabir. What coin is good for scalping? Right now, Terra Luna, bro. Steve, my man, I appreciate you, brother. I really do. You're always in the house, man. Appreciate you. All right, guys, don't forget, hammer that damn like button. Smash that thing. It takes 2.2 seconds. It's totally free to do. Let's get up over 800 people in here. Smash that damn like button. Let's go. All right, so here's what's going on with South Korea. This is interesting. South Korea's financial authorities have launched emergency inspections into domestic cryptocurrency exchange operators to enhance investors' protection after the collapse of USD, Terra USD. So the move came after Terra USD and Luna's death spiral caused massive losses to investors, sending shockwaves across the crypto world and really across the world in general, because everybody is hearing about this, even people who aren't necessarily in crypto. Now, according to industry sources, the Financial Services Commission, or FSC, and the FSS have recently asked local cryptocurrency exchange operators to share information on transactions linked to Terra USD and Luna, including the volumes of their trading, their closing prices, and the number of relevant investors. The top financial regulators have also asked them to provide their countermeasures to the recent market crash and analyses of what caused the collapse. So basically what this tells me is South Korea is looking into what actually happened here. And there might be consequences down the line for Kwon, depending on what they find. Here's the thing. The thing that came out with Citadel and BlackRock, to me, still makes the most sense. I don't know exactly, but it looks like market manipulation here, and it looks like some heavy hitters were involved. It looks like some heavy hitters were involved here, right? I mean, that's kind of what I think. I mean, I think some heavy hitters were here, and it was market manipulation at its finest, personally. What's up, Mark? What's up? What's up? What's up? Do you think SHIB will hit 0.01 in 2024? Is it possible? It's certainly possible, but it's gonna take a while for it to hit 1 cent. The thing is with SHIB, it's so big now. The market cap's so huge, right? It takes a lot to move the needle now. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Yeah, what's up, Gus? Any exciting launches coming? Actually, yes. There is going to be a huge launch coming. Clear Cryptos. Guys, you're going to want to definitely get ready for Clear Cryptos. I've been in some initial meetings with the team, learning about what they're doing. Man, I'm excited. I'm going to drop that in chat. I'm going to show you guys what's up very, very soon. But here's the project that is upcoming. You're definitely going to want to be locked in and ready to go. This company is based out of Puerto Rico. There's a reason for that. Because of how crypto friendly Puerto Rico is, this project will try to build up every Puerto Rican citizen. We'll try to build up every citizen in Latin America. And I am going to be talking about this for a while. This is big. This is big time. It is set to revolutionize the space 100%. I don't say that lightly. I'm not just blowing smoke. I am dead serious. This thing is for real. So you're going to want to learn more about the project. Of course, not a financial advisor. Do your own research, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? But you're going to want to be locked and loaded on this thing and understand what they're doing. It's going to be massive. I'm telling you guys, the team behind this is huge, and they're going to be able to change the crypto space. When we talk about clarity in crypto, we're talking about it from multiple angles, right? This whole Terra Luna situation, we need clarity on what happened, right? We need clarity on, is it still a good buy? Is it still a good opportunity? Clear Cryptos is going to help with that through education, through tools. And guys, they're going to launch with utility day one. So I'll come back to that in a little bit. Let's see here. Let's see what the latest is. So this kind of broke. I was actually looking at this article this morning. Luna and UST worked together to preserve UST's peg to USD, or they did. Now it looks like they're going to do away with them, working together in tandem, right? The algorithm to maintain the peg burns Luna to mint UST. So this is how it worked. This is how the ecosystem worked at first, right here. So what happened was the algorithm to maintain the peg burns Luna to mint UST if the price is over $1, and it burns UST for Luna if the price is below $1. So it worked interchangeably, right? How much money are they paying to promote this? Oscar, I have not been paid anything yet. I mean, I'm so blown away from this project. You'll see, bro. I mean, I'm not even, people are going to come out here and try to FUD it. Dude, good luck. You'll see. You'll see. I'm just telling you guys, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for a lot of investors, and this is something we can all rally behind. But I'm gonna talk a lot more about that later. I want to talk more about UST right now, but I'm just telling you, get ready. It's the real deal. This is in combination with arbitrageurs taking advantage of something they can buy for 98 cents and sell almost immediately for $1 is the way they maintain the peg for UST. So for a while, if it did, get away from the dollar there momentarily, they would swing trade it back, right? But then the attack happened and it just sent UST in a free fall. Once it was, not pegged from the dollar, this thing just got insane, right? It was all bets are off. Once it got to like 70 cents, all bets were off. Because we had never experienced anything like that. It's one thing to be, depegged from the dollar, but it's at 98 cents or 97 cents. That's not normal, but it's like understandable. Like we can work with that. Like, right? There's room there. There's wiggle room there for, for a little bit of that fluctuation. But once it got down to 70 cents, I mean, we had never seen anything like that. Freddie Reynolds, this was interesting. Way back in November, crypto investor Freddie Reynolds described exactly how this could happen in a George Soros-style attack. A few weeks ago, I responded to this tweet with a brief outline of how a wealthy attacker could not only break Terra_money, but profit heavily doing it with a Soros-style Black Wednesday attack. Below, I provide the details. The meaning of this attack is how Soros crushed the Bank of England by shorting the GBP. This great speculative analysis was made 6 months before it happened. So that's how it can happen to create a vicious cycle of continuous minting and selling or shorting to drag the price down. So each time more Luna is needed for the $1 of Luna for $1 of UST. This is interesting too. So Quan said the goal was to kill the DAI coin, another stable coin. It was the third stable coin in the famous Curve 3 pool of stable coins. And Quan wanted to displace DAI with UST. He famously said, by my hands, the DAI coin will die. There's a lot to unpack in this article, but this is basically getting into what actually happened, right? We still really don't know. I mean, as much as we can speculate, we still don't know. Anchor is involved in this as well. We've been talking about Anchor a little bit. I'm going to get some more coffee real quick. Sape and B-Sape pumping back. What's up, Bobby? Yes, sir. Leon, what's up, man? Do I think UST can recover at least to 70 cents? Man, I don't know. It's going to be, where is it at right now? It was at 7 cents yesterday. Where are we at today? Let's see. Okay, we're back up a little bit to 9 cents. I mean, if it gets back to $1, that's going to be huge. But it's not going to be as big of a deal as it once was because the hard fork is moving away from UST and Luna and how they worked in tandem with one another, right? So the focus now is more on Terra. At least that's what I'm reading. I mean, they're focusing more on Luna and, you know, a Luna Classic, basically 2 blockchains running simultaneously, similar to Ethereum once they got hacked back in 2016. Wagme did a pump just after I topped it up with my Luna profits. Nice, bro. That's perfect. To my knowledge, Mr. Alvarez, there will not be any private or pre-sale for Clear Cryptos. And guys, there's going to be a lot more to unpack. I'm going to do more videos on that. There is so much to talk about with this project. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Johnny Crypto, what's up, man? What's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I wouldn't trust Luna. We don't have a lot of clarity in terms of what happened, Johnny. I agree with you 100%, man. We don't know if it was an inside job, if it was something on the outside. Luna Classic will have a following like SHIB. I can see it happening, Craig. That's a good point. Make sure you guys smash that like button. I agree with Steve. Yeah, guys, hit that like button. Let's get up over 1,000. We're almost there, up over 1,000 people. But I think Craig brings up a good point here. Luna Classic will have a following like SHIB. It is becoming interesting to watch kind of how many people are rallying behind this. And let's just call it what it is. Like the price point, right, is appealing. It becomes this thing once you see like 3 or 4 zeros. It becomes an immediate degen play, right? But what's crazy about this thing is this was a top 10 crypto up over $100 a couple weeks ago. Huge market cap. And here we are. So, and we're still talking about it, obviously, right? Because this is huge. We haven't seen anything like this unless we go back to the Ethereum hack back in 2016. And that's essentially what they're trying to replicate here. They're trying to do a hard fork, have Luna Classic, and then a new Luna, if you will. And Ethereum Classic, by the way, as much as I don't like it, it still trades and gets a shit ton of volume. Like you can still do well trading Ethereum Classic. And it runs with Ethereum. It does. 100%. It does. Steve says nobody should trust Luna now, but if you can make a few K off a very small investment, then this is the degen play of our lifetimes. It's worth it. It's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people have been doing. They've been swing trading this thing. Do you have the price prediction on post fork for Luna? Adrian, it's hard to tell, man. I mean, I would just be throwing a number out there to give you a price prediction, really. Bro, is the new coin Pulse Chain is scam or real? No, Pulse Chain is for real. I don't think it's a new coin, though. It's a chain. That's tied to Hex, Ahmed. Are you talking about a particular coin, or are you talking about the Pulse Chain? By the way, Clear Cryptos is set to launch on Pulse Chain, one of 4 different blockchains at launch. We'll talk more about that. Duquan is live right now. Is he really, or is it fake? Let's see. Where is he live right now? Russ, let's listen in. Forget the fork. They need to be buying regular Luna and airdropping that to UST losers. It would bring the price up organically. That's a good comment, Ruben. Where is Quan live right now? We'll stream it. Let's see. Let's pull up YouTube. It could be a fake live stream, guys. Be careful out there. There's a lot of fake live streams. Oops. See if he's actually live. See, this looks fake. See, look at all these guys. All these things right now, these are fake. Can UST get to $1 and repeg the next time Bitcoin rallies up? Maybe, but here's the thing. They're basically saying with this new plan, they're not focusing on the stablecoin. They're moving away from that whole correlation with UST and the minting that takes place and the burning that takes place, you know, from Terra and UST. They're basically moving away from that. They're focusing on Terra Luna. They basically want to restart where it's not important UST is not important in the ecosystem. Let's just call it what it is. That's what I'm reading, right? It's probably a scam video. Yeah, I think so. I don't think he's live right now. I just looked briefly. Up over 1,000 people. Guys, come on in. Glad you're with us here this morning. Hit that like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new. Is Kadena still doing well? Kadena has been doing well over the last few weeks. It's a nice day trade. Hey, is the burn just for buzz or is it real? No, it's actually it's real. How much it'll actually play a role, we'll see. Do I know anything about the Saitama V2? I know it's coming up here very soon. I think it'll be interesting. We'll probably get a price pump, but I think a lot of people are waiting to take some profits or take less losses too. So it'll be interesting to see how many people hang on after a V2. I think it'll be successful in the short term. Well, I think it'll. Do I think it'll last? We'll see. They still have yet, to get a working app. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody. And now they're launching the pro version. I mean, if it's legit and it works, then yeah. If they actually deliver on what they've promised for months and months and months, then yeah, maybe it'll last. But I'm not holding my breath. Should I go into ApeCoin or no? Where is Ape? Let's see. ApeCoin under like $6. I mean, that was just a ridiculously good price in my opinion. Let's see. It's probably, yeah, it's back just under 9 now. It's still, in my opinion, still a good price. I mean, we've been consolidating here for what, about 4 or 5 days. That's good. I think ApeCoin long-term, guys, is a really good investment, but Scott Herman in the house. What's up, Scott? What's happening, brother? Yeah, I saw that. Someone went knocking on Quan's door and scared his wife during the last Terra crash. So there was an investor who had lost like $3 million, apparently, and went to his apartment or his condo, whatever, his house or whatever, and knocked on his door. It's getting crazy. I mean, that's insane. That's freaking nuts, really. But I get it. There are so many people, like so many people who lost millions of dollars. Forget like a couple thousand. Talk about the people who lost millions and millions and millions of dollars. I bought in for $2,400 and it's worth about 32 cents now. So yeah, I got wrecked, but I mean, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. Crypto is gambling, kind of, on some level. Yeah. Sir, if we hold Luna now on CDC, will we have to do anything? We won't lose what we still have. No, Boomer. No. Loving these prices across the market. I hear you, Johnny. Crypto Shop. What's up, T Hobbs? What's up, man? This plan will not work. I feel bad for Luna. Why do you say that, Keith? I think people forget one rule. Don't invest nothing you're willing to lose. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, Hobbs in the house. What's up, man? Anything new on Saitama? Not much. I mean, let's check their Twitter account real quick. Guys, anybody new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Definitely, we want to keep you here long term. So if you're interested in kind of what we're breaking down here, hit that like button too. Don't forget to hit that like button. It's totally free. I know everybody comes in, they forget to hit it, but it really helps us out here on the stream. So this was their announcement, just to confirm RMA, blah, blah, blah. This was their V2 launch. Okay, here it is. This is their plan. Why they're doing it. Added security, fit to face the future, blah, 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 blah. Hotter burn, meme no more. Okay. They'll not lose their tokens or value. They don't have to do anything because the migration will be automatic and free of charge. They're going to have new tokenomics as part of this. It'll be interesting. I think it'll certainly provide a short-term pump in the price, but I just wonder, because I know so many people are upside down in Saitama. Let's just call it what it is, right? So at what point do they start taking profits? Because it might reach levels that we haven't seen for months, and people are going to be like, well, it's back to that level. Finally, I'm ready to take my investment out, right? So another big part of this whole debacle was Anchor. So Anchor was giving like 20% APY during this whole fallout. And that's where the most UST, that stablecoin, actually sat. It was like 67% of all UST was actually over there and staked. Can you imagine if you staked a shit ton of UST and you got wrecked? And there's nothing you could do because it was staked. Can't touch it. It was locked up. That happened to a lot of people. Hey, Zach, hope you're good. Could you have a look at this new low market cap gem? Thank you for the super chat, man. We got a lot to get to with Terra and some other things, but you're getting some airtime with that new token up on screen. Guys, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't just go ape into this thing. But thanks for that, man. News on Shibtoro or Archie Neko. I've never followed the Archie Neko stuff, Mark, but with Shibtoro, be on the lookout for some news in the coming weeks. They're going to have NFTs dropping, but there might be some bigger things coming down the line. So I'm not selling any of my Shibtoro. And I'm way down on it, by the way. Zach's fucking that sandwich up. Yeah, dude. Cheers, brother. What about Zach Toro? We should launch it. That'd be hilarious. I have 3,000 of Saitama at the sixes right now. It's worth 200. Am I supposed to get 200 back to 3,000? It's a lot of zeros in between. Wait, what do you mean, Rores? I'm not following what you mean, bro. What's up, Raquel? That's why I don't like stacking and don't believe it. Instead of stacking, use your money to do day trading. At least you get access to your fund anytime. Yeah, that's a good point, BDP. I understand that. And a lot of people share that same thought. I hear you. Let's see something here. So this is the big thing. Terra is more than UST. And really what they're saying is here, like they're moving away from UST altogether. This is hilarious, actually. People are crazy. Let's see kind of what people are saying here. AMA, da da da. This isn't
for
real.
Presidential candidates minting NFT.
Guys, be very careful. These are all scams, these live streams. Let's see here today. This guy's pretty good. I wonder what he's saying here. Is it the end of UST? I think it is. I think it is the end of UST, the stable coin. I don't think it's coming back.
UST and Terra Luna, but they just came out with an action plan. So I'm going to break down what the action plan is, because that is what we were looking for in the last video, and where this is going to be completely different and might fork some people over. Let's get right down to the point in today's video. Welcome back. Right here it is on CoinMarketCap. We'll start there first at 0002132, basically competing with things like SHIBA INU coin, Dogelon, Mars, and others. So that's not cool, especially when you came down from right there.
Did you say Dogelon? It's Dogelon, man. Come on.
In the last month of $99 a token. And get this, if you would have invested $1.6 billion, yes, that's right, $1.6 billion, that's what Binance basically had. Guess how much it's worth today? $3,000. Wow. Now, if you're somebody that had money in either UST or in Luna and lost a lot of money, please make sure that you remember you are worth it. Money does not define you. Your awesomeness defines you. And use the phone number in the pinned comment, because I want to make sure you are set up for success and that you're taken care of if this is stressing you out. But let's first talk about what's going to happen here with Terra. Two things. Let's talk about the action plan, and then we're going to talk about, can Luna ever get back to $1, let alone the fact the $100 that you see here. Here's what's worrying me a little bit. First off, on this right here, we have holders, and you scroll over here to 3 months, look at the difference of the holders. Now back here, people were buying it, whatever it was. But now, ever since it dropped to near nothing, everybody's flooding into it. And then they're saying it's going to go up to $10 or $100. I have 160,000 Luna, or I have 1 million Luna. It's going to go back up to $1, and I'm an immediate millionaire without doing the math. And I gotta talk straight love to some people here. If you don't do the basic math of understanding the total supply of what's going on here in Luna.
That's the thing people aren't understanding, that the total supply is continually increasing right now, making it harder and harder to get back to those levels. Even if it got back to $1, that would be insane. It would have to go up. I don't even know what the percentage would be. He's probably going to break it down here. I'm going to grab some coffee, but I'm going to continue listening here. I'll be right back.
You're going to be highly disappointed, because what's going to happen is you need a lot of different catalysts to occur in order for this to get back up to where it needs to be. And we'll break that down in just a moment. Let's hop first to the action plan. So the action plan separates Luna from UST. Now remember, this right here, UST was the stable coin that was associated with Luna. The idea is it should always be right around $1. And as you can see, it depegged, and it's now at 10 cents. And I don't see any recovery anytime soon, especially with the announcement that was just made on the action plan. So here is the action plan. And what I'll do is I'll link this down in the description below so you can check it out for yourself as well. But ultimately, I'm going to take this and pull out the highlights so you don't have to read over all of this stuff. Here's the big one. What Do Kwon, co-founder of Terraform Labs and the Luna fiasco that we're dealing with now, wants to fork the overall chain. That's a big deal. So here's what you have. Today you have Terra, right? You have Terra Luna going for next to nothing. Well, he wants to take this chain and fork it into two different things. Up at the top, you have what he's wanting to call Terra Luna Classic. That's identified as LUNC. Don't make fun of my handwriting. On the bottom fork, you're now going to have the new Terra Luna, which will be identified as LUNA. So you're basically forking this away from each other. So if you own the current Luna, don't worry, there's a plan. But the issue is, by forking it, you're basically giving up. You're basically saying, yeah, we screwed up. let's move forward with a different thing. But it gets even more interesting than that. Check this out right here. He has a plan with the fork to do a couple of different things. The very first thing is to really focus on the ecosystem and what they're doing with the app developer program. Up here at the top, he's saying, while UST has been the central narrative of Terra's growth, the Terra ecosystem is worth preserving as a result of some of the things mentioned down below in this article. So you're basically taking this, you're saying, no more are we going to associate with the stablecoin. Bye-bye UST. Let's focus on Luna. And then at that point, we're going to focus on the ecosystem and the Web3 development within Luna with the fork. Problem with all this is, what are you trying to do now? You're competing against things like SHIBA INU? Is that kind of what we're doing here? Because it was a whole different game back when this was associated with UST. It was a stable coin, and you burned Luna to increase UST.
Yeah, they're moving away from that. They don't want to burn Luna to increase UST anymore. They're basically saying, UST, we're done with you. UST holders, sorry, but we're moving away. We're going to fork the blockchain. We're going to start 2 new blockchains. UST is no longer important anymore. And it's kind of screwed up, because what about all these people who lost a shit ton of money on a stable coin that they thought was a stable investment? I mean, it's kind of messed up, in my opinion. I feel for anybody who's holding UST.
Vice versa, based on the swapping, it had a whole entire thing built into it. But now you're realizing it's depegged, it's screwed up. Let's back out of it. And what we're going to associate it with now is USDT and USDC, those 2 stable coins, which have nothing to do with the Terraform Labs. Very, very interesting stuff, don't you think? So that's where some people are going to get forked over. You get what I'm saying? Because people are not going to buy into that. In fact, there's going to be a couple issues. So what they're planning to do is, with this fork, specifically with this token, this new token that they're going to develop, they're going to have 1 billion tokens minted with Luna.
Yeah, we've went over this, and she's probably going to break down the allocation of how that's spread out here too. So, but anybody who's holding UST will actually benefit from this. But other than that, I mean, moving forward, they're kind of getting screwed. Anybody who held UST, I think he's probably going to break it down here.
1 billion, and that's it. And then they're going to split it up into different percentages based on who gets it. The stakers of Luna, the holders of Luna, and I'm talking about this Luna here, back here, they're going to get a certain percentage of the new Luna airdrop to them.
We got an ad here. Hold on.
Of this crap coin that basically Classic has become. And you convert it, and now you're going to have this additional Luna. But here's a couple issues that I see with that. Because you're completely changing this game with this particular forking idea, I think a lot of people are going to do 1 of 2 things. First of all, you have a lot of people that are hurting, that lost a lot of money in Luna. So they're going to get this new Luna 2.0, or whatever you want to call that. And they're immediately going to sell it once it gets into any great profit that they can recover. So it's going to immediately have a lot of downward pressure just pushing up against it. For those people that bought on the dip and bought when it did go down, of course, they're going to be feeling great. And, that's why I think a lot of things are now locked up until we figure out if this action plan is actually going to work. That is going to be great for them. But for the people that lost money, I think there's going to be a lot of downward pressure going on here. So we're going to have to see how this all bakes out over the next couple of days, because here's the next steps right down below here. The timeline is the announcement's out tomorrow. The governance proposal gets sent out. And ultimately, the network is launched on May 27th. We need to follow this very closely, because it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. Now, I don't like the fact that they're calling it Terra Luna Classic in his proposal, because the classic word, classic what? A classic failure. I mean, this thing just completely screwed so many people over. And yeah, the people that just now learned about it, that are jumping into it, they're excited about it. But we got to be realistic here. I mean, some people got totally screwed in this. I wouldn't call it classic. I would just say old Terra Luna, or, dead Luna. I mean, honestly, you might want to just call it dead Luna and be done with it, because I think there's no sense in trying to revive a dead animal. This is not like something.
So yeah, Mrs. Wynn, the actual vote is happening tomorrow. The actual vote is happening tomorrow. I think this guy's making a lot of good points here. He's almost done wrapping this thing up, but he's breaking everything down. Basically, what I'm gathering here, and I share the same opinions here, they're basically saying, screw anybody who held UST. Let's just call it what it is. They're saying we're moving away from it. If you held UST in a stable coin, you're screwed. We're moving on. Basically.
Like the SHIBA INU token, which is also trading for 0.0000 1.4, whatever it is right now. I mean, the difference there is they purposely minted a ridiculous amount of tokens from the beginning,
Right.
1 quadrillion, versus this went from a nice stable ebb and flow with the UST to the Luna to where it is now, which is called like so much hyperinflation that even inflation is impressed with how well this inflated. I mean, that's a bad thing. Look at this, 6.5 billion. I mean, we're talking about 6 trillion Luna. That is a ton compared to where it was. So this action plan gives up on this. This one right here gets renamed LUNC for classic, if that's the word it actually goes through, and we'll have a whole nother token. And then what actually happens with that? It's gonna be a lot of skepticism, I think, on what is Do Kwon gonna do? Is he really even trustworthy at this point? Because this is now his second failed stablecoin. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see what happens. Now, can Luna ever even get back to $1, even with the classic or the new, if this fork goes through? That's really probably what most of you want to figure out, because some of you I know bought like 160, 170, 1 million Luna tokens, and you're probably thinking, if this thing goes to $1, I'm an immediate millionaire. But can it actually realistically happen? Let's take a use case and figure it out. But first, let's talk about scammers. Anytime that you come up with something that's hot, which right now Luna is all over the news because of this terrible thing that happened, there are going to be scammers that are out there trying to steal your money. The very first one is here on YouTube. Check this out. This is basically this Binance. It's not actually Binance. It's a scammer that's pretending like they're live streaming a discussion between Do Kwon, the co-founder of Terraform, and Laura Shin. But it's not. This video was actually posted weeks ago. Actually, months ago. Look at this. This is from March 29th. And they're pretending like they're streaming this on. But the issue with that scam is people see this link and they do something that sends them money and they steal your money and run. Do not fall for these dumb little things that say that Luna is going to the moon, because they're just trying to steal your money by taking advantage of the hype. The second part is, of course, WhatsApp scammers. They're going to reply to you in the comments down below. If you want to know where they're from and a little bit more detail about the WhatsApp scammers, check out this video right up here in the info card. I had a lot of fun doing that, and you got to check it out if you ever were wondering who's behind all those WhatsApp comments.
Look at these. To his point, look at all these. I mean, these are all live streams that are just fake. So like, don't click here. They're going to tell you to do things. Like, here's 3 of them right here. You got 17,000 people watching this one. You got 6,000 people watching this one, 4,000 people watching this one. These are all bullshit. These are all, it's crazy. So scammers take full advantage of what's hot. Like the same thing happened with SHIB last year in 2021. Here's another one. 7,000 people watching. Like, none of these are legit. So just be careful out there. He's definitely giving you some good advice here.
Comments. So it's basic ebb and flow because the circulating supply is so high. 6.9 trillion circulating supply against the current market cap. There's the current price, 0.000214.
Hitting with ads here. But he's bringing a lot of good points. And again, I think the big takeaway here is that if this vote goes through, because the people are going to vote on it tomorrow, people are basically saying UST is no longer important in the ecosystem. Really. I mean, there's no path forward for UST in these new plans. It's a hard fork. They care about Terra Luna. That's it.
That's what we got. How can we get up to $1? Well, that's what gets interesting. You can't just come in here and say it's now $1. That makes the market cap, check out the market cap, $6.9 trillion. If we come over here to CoinMarketCap, and we look at this legitimately, if you look at the entire cryptocurrency market right now, it is at 1.28 trillion. That's every single cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin, all added up. And that's what that equals. So theoretically, let's do some math. Let's get real. For Terra alone to get to that point with the circulating supply, not going to happen. A lot of people like to fight with me and say, well, market cap doesn't matter. Math, guys, math. We got to be realistic and stop hyping things up that are unnecessary. Instead, let's do the right thing here. You ready? Let's do the right thing. The right thing is going back to here and saying, what would it take to get to $1 considering the circumstances? Well, that is burning the heck out of that circulating supply, which means somebody has to take a bunch of money and throw it away in order to burn down that circulating supply. Now, if they decide to just fork this off, and this right here is Luna Classic, so we're going to say LUNC, and then they're going to come through here, and let's copy and paste this, and this will be the new Luna. Now, if we only have 1 billion, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's our 1 billion with a market cap of only 214,000 at that current price. Of course, this can now go up. Let's do 1. Hey, $1 is possible at that point. Hey, $2 is even possible at that point. But I'm telling you that, 99.50 could even be possible, but the market cap is still a little bit high. But if we want to talk about, can Luna actually reach $1 or $10 with his idea of the 1 billion new Luna, that could potentially happen depending on how they're going to spread this out. No matter what happens here, even if you burn down circulating supply of classic Luna down enough to get to $1 current price based on legitimate mathematical sensible market cap, that's a lot of tokens you need to burn, because this thing got hyperinflated so hot that it just screwed up the entire thing. That's what caused all this problem, because of the UST depegging, and it caused a lot of yin and yang in the bad way, which pushed that up. So what we would have to think about is, okay, to be realistic.
Somebody has a good comment here. The vote is for them to have a new blockchain, a new Luna, and if people voted down and say no on the down, then they get to fix the old Luna. Yeah, then they have to. Yeah, you're right. The vote is on a new blockchain, so they would have 2 blockchains. They would keep the old one and call it Luna Classic, like they did with Ethereum when Ethereum got hacked in 2016.
Realistic with this, who's given up a lot of money in the long term here to make this actually happen? But that means that this has to actually go through in the forking. And remember, you're not getting everything. Think about this like the stock market. It's a reverse stock split, because you're only getting a certain percentage. Let's go back here to what's going on. Out of those 1 billion, only 10% of all that, as they distribute, go to the holders. And there's a vesting period and things like that. So there's a little bit of asterisk. You need to go through and read this stuff. You got to do your own research, especially if you are a Luna holder, just to make sure you're doing the right thing and that you're thinking through this the right way, because this could severely change how this entire ecosystem works. Really important to keep on top of this type of news. So are we going to see a potential that we could go to $1 with the new Luna? Potentially. But it depends how many tokens you're going to actually have once they're airdropped to your wallet, if this all goes through. We're going to keep this very, very close. If you're interested in learning more about it, comment down below and say, keep me posted on Terra Luna, and I'll make sure I do that. But make sure that you check out this video next. We'll see you on the next.
Oh, he's talking about SHIB too. Nice. This guy's pretty good. Bob Sharp. He's got a little over 100K. I didn't know about this guy. He's got SHIB content, Terra Luna stuff. But I think he's right. I mean, he's basically hitting on the fact that, number one, we don't know if this vote's going to go through. We don't know which way this is going to go in terms of, do they create a second blockchain? The other thing that he mentioned that I agree with is they're basically saying screw USDT in this new proposal, or UST rather, right? They're basically leaving that high and dry and moving away from it by creating another blockchain. And again, the whole process that kept that caused Terra to be so successful was the peg to UST and the constant minting function, right? And like the vice versa connection between the two, right? But now that's gone. So this is a whole different way of doing things moving forward. So if it goes through, if it gets voted on, right? Let's see if we can find anything else, like kind of the latest up and running here. Let's see. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Up over 1,000 people. Really appreciate you guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. We're 30 subscribers away from 88,000. So, man, if we can get there, that'd be awesome. Very grateful for everybody out there. I know it's a lot to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, but man, it would mean the world to me if you decide to subscribe and hang out with us for the long term. So definitely do that if you like crypto content like this. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see what's up here with the latest. These live streams are fake. Don't go to them. Let's see here. I wonder if like the big guys are talking like Altcoin Daily. Let's see. Be curious to see. This is one day ago. I wonder what they have to say here.
Starting an on.
I like getting other people's perspective, guys. Yeah, hit that like button. Yeah, we're watching other people's perspective together. Exactly. Hey, Zach, you should make a transaction burn on the new Terra Luna that burns the old Luna. That'd be interesting. Elon Musk live every day on YouTube. Scammers. Yeah, 100%, dude. They're always scamming shit like that. fake live streams.
Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin. The Terra Luna cryptocurrency is dead, practically. While once trading at over $100 just a few weeks ago, it is now down to fractions of a penny. Now, if you want a recap of exactly what happened, why the price crashed, I will link our original video from just 3 days ago down below in the video description, the insane collapse of Terra Luna. Seek this out, link down below, because in today's video, I want to give you an update on what to expect next. Do Kwon's proposal to reset the Terra Luna blockchain, a fresh look into the billions of dollars of Bitcoin that Terra Luna held, what happened to the Bitcoin, as well as a few pieces of altcoin news that you should know as an investor. So like always, check the timestamps down below, hit the like button if you want to support me, and let's jump in by just first off analyzing how Terra Luna's price got here. Many people see this and think, wow, the price crashed. Everybody must have sold. That's why the price crashed. And that's only a little bit true, because in reality, price equals supply and demand. So yes, demand did go down. That was some people selling, but the majority of this was actually supply increasing. As per the latest data from the Block Research, Luna's circulating supply did a 19,000x in 4 days.
That's insane.
This is hyperinflation. Hyperinflated coins are worth less. So here is a chart of Luna's circulating supply as of yesterday. And as you can see, trillions and trillions and trillions of coins were printed. Now, why did Do Kwon and the Terra Luna Foundation do this? Well, they printed more to sell on the open market in an attempt to prop up their stablecoin UST. And as we know from coverage on this channel, they have failed thus far. UST currently sitting at 15 cents on the dollar. Anyway, back to Luna. I share this with you because so many people I saw on Twitter were buying the dip, buying thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Luna because they thought, wow, if it just gets back to $1, if it just goes back to $100 plus its all-time high, I'll be a billionaire.
Yeah, people were thinking this, but they didn't understand what was happening with the supply, right? That was driving the price down in the first place. And now how hard it is to get back there, let alone how hard it is to get back to a penny.
If you have heard that from other hype channels, they're lying to you. Altcoin Daily is going to bring you the truth. Because the supply was inflated, the price will never go back to what it once was, let alone even $1. The Terra Luna crash has seen the Luna circulating supply increase from an original supply of 345 million to now almost 6.5 trillion Luna. This means for Luna to just get back to $1, it will need to grow market cap 13 times as large as Bitcoin's. So
That's crazy.
It's not happening, at least not happening this decade. Unless, of course, they take back that supply, reset the blockchain, and that's exactly what Do Kwon, in part, has proposed to do.
Yeah.
Do Kwon resurfaces to propose a clean slate for Terra, this time without the UST stablecoin. So this was proposed just 2 days ago. Do Kwon called this his ecosystem revival plan. And in it, he suggested that UST is not coming back and that the Terra blockchain must redistribute tokens to move forward. In a direct quote from Do Kwon on why he says the ecosystem needs to redistribute the tokens, he says, the holders of Luna have so severely been liquidated and diluted that we will lack the ecosystem to build back up from the ashes. While a decentralized economy does need decentralized money, UST has lost too much trust with its users to play the role. I agree. Even if they got the peg back $1, I don't really see people trusting their money in UST.
That's a good point. Even if they started to move back up, why would you keep maybe a little bit of money, but why would you keep a lot of money in UST stablecoin now after it's basically lost everyone's trust that it's not stable? The only thing that's really kind of withstood everything, even USDT lost its value there for a little bit and got below $1. USDC has been the one that has remained steady. And honestly, the DAI coin too, the DAI DAI coin has also remained pretty steady. But I think we're starting to see that stable coins just aren't as stable as we once thought, right? And let's just face it, because the biggest threat to the US government and the biggest threat to governments in general are stable coins. And I think this is the start to a digital dollar. I really do. And could it be market manipulation from the highest powers that be? It could be. It very well could be. I don't know. I mean, we don't know. But I do know this. There's a reason why XRP got blasted and why they got made an example of, because it was a direct threat to the banking system. Stablecoins are a direct threat to the dollar. And that hits home, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're different. Bitcoin is a store of value. It's like digital gold. You really don't transact with it. That's different, right? XRP, that really is a faster and quicker and better way to send money across borders. It's more efficient. It's better than anything we have currently. And that's why it was a big threat. That's why it was labeled as a security. And that's why they're in this big mess. And maybe that's what's happening with stablecoins right now. They're being made examples of because they are a big threat to the system, quote unquote, right? And we'll see. I mean, maybe our money is better situated in Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. Albeit, yeah, sure, they can fluctuate, they can go up and down, but at least our money feels safe, right? Versus having it in a stable coin that, something happens like UST. And I mean, can you imagine having hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in a stable coin, and then that stable coin, which is supposed to be pegged to the dollar, goes down to 7 freaking cents? I mean, that's insane. So
now, instead of building back with UST, Quan proposes revitalizing the network around the Terra blockchain network. We've built up one of the largest, most vibrant developer ecosystems in crypto, with some of the smartest minds in the world working on products with the best UI UX. And yes, Terra Luna does have a growing, dare I say, thriving DeFi ecosystem that dApps were being built on. Now, of course, if Do Kwon wants to redistribute the tokens, the devil is in the details. How exactly does he plan to do it? Well, as I said at the beginning, right now, there are over 6.5 trillion tokens for Terra Luna. Terra founder Do Kwon is proposing resetting Luna back to just 1 billion tokens distributed in this way. 40% to Luna holders before the depegging event. That means it would not count if you bought the dip. If you bought it for pennies on the dollar, 40% would just go back to those original holders before the collapse. Another 40% would go to the UST stablecoin holders pro rata at the time of the new network upgrade. So anybody that still holds the stablecoin would get allocated that 40%. Then another 10% to Luna holders at the final moment before the chain halt. As you know, the Luna blockchain was halted twice on Friday. And then the final 10% would just go in a community pool to further the growth of the new Terra Luna 2 blockchain. So that is the proposal on the table. Again, it's up to the community on if this goes through, if this is tweaked in any way, or if this is voted on as is. Now, next up, Do Kwon did take to Twitter. This is the last message he put out a few days ago, saying that he was heartbroken over Terra's demise. Here was that exact tweet. I've spent the last few days on the phone calling Terra community members, builders, community members, employees, friends, and family that have been devastated by the UST depegging. I am heartbroken about the pain my invention has brought you all. I still believe that decentralized economies deserve decentralized money, but it's clear that UST in its current form will not be that money. Now, did Do Kwon cash out in time, or did he lose his money too?
Right.
Neither I nor any institution that I'm affiliated with profited in any way from this incident. I sold no Luna nor UST during the crisis. We are currently working on documenting the use of the Luna Foundation Guard's BTC reserve during the depegging event. Please be patient with us as our teams are juggling multiple tasks at the same time. So Do Kwon is going to put out a post-mortem report on exactly what happened.
Got a quick ad here, but yeah, it's really interesting because we don't know. We have no idea what actually happened. Was it an inside job? Was it BlackRock? Was it Citadel? Was it Gemini? Were they all, in on this? I mean, or was it just a thing where, Kwon did it himself and he's playing stupid? I mean, we don't know. Or was it a coordinated attack by somebody we're not even talking about? That's the thing. I mean, but what it shows is that, the there was malicious activity here and somebody attacked UST and knew exactly what they were doing.
That does bring us to our next obvious question. What happened to the $3.5 billion in Bitcoin that were sitting in Terra's reserves?
We talked about this yesterday, but I'm curious to see what Altcoin Daily's take on this is.
Right? They bought that Bitcoin for a reason, and nobody knows what exactly happened to those reserves and where they are now. So we are waiting on that postmortem from Do Kwon, but they did have over 80,000 Bitcoin in the reserves worth billions of dollars. Now, analyst firms have done a little analysis and tried to pinpoint where exactly those Bitcoin went. For example, Do Kwon told us 3-4 days ago that a loan of $750 million worth of BTC were going to OTC trading desks to help protect the peg. So out of that 80,000 BTC, that does represent around 22,000 BTC worth that amount of money at the time. So that's about 25% of their reserves. Now, later that evening, a further 30,000 BTC worth almost $1 billion at the time was sent from other LFG wallets to the same address. Again, we assume OTC trading desks. After that, within hours, the entirety of this 52,000 plus BTC was moved to a single account at US crypto exchange Gemini via several Bitcoin transactions. Again,
so we know it got moved to Gemini. So that part of the whole Hoskinson story is true.
This was days ago, and the reason they had all this Bitcoin, the purpose of having a very large reserve of Bitcoin was potentially to purchase UST, their stablecoin, to push the price back up to $1, which is probably the reason it was sent to exchanges. But it's not possible using the blockchain alone to identify whether it was sold to support the UST price. So while all that Bitcoin was sent to exchanges, we do not know whether all of it, some of it, how much of it was sold, or how much Terra Luna still has left. If you have thoughts on any of this, I encourage you to comment, share your thoughts down below. We are all checking the comment section together right now. And next up, let's talk about the latest altcoin news that you should know as an investor. But real quick, have you taken advantage of this yet? Get up to $100 in crypto with Altcoin Daily through our partnership with FTX US. FTX is one of the most respected exchanges in the game, fully regulated in the US, and they have fees up to 85% cheaper than competitors, and they're literally trusted by millions. So if you want to earn cryptocurrency just by using the platform, use code Altcoin Daily when you sign up, or get started today with this QR code. Link down below, take advantage. And moving forward, let's talk about the Flow altcoin. Top Shot creator on
Okay, so they're going to go into some other topics here, but it's interesting to get everybody's perspective, right? And they're basically rehashing everything that we kind of talked about the last couple of days, but adding some analysis there. I wonder what some of the other big YouTubers are saying. I wonder if Coin Bureau has said anything about this whole situation. I'm guessing that he has. By the way, guys, if you're just tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, they're going to be voting on all of this tomorrow. Look at this review. Where this was his review 3 months ago. Wonder if he has talked about it here today or recently. This is 1 day ago. Terra collapses. Let's see what he says here a little bit. This is a long video, but I kind of want to get his perspective here. He's going to do his intro for a while. Let's just zip ahead.
Last week, the crypto market experienced what can only be described as the blackest of black swan events to date. This was the total collapse of Terra, which saw over $40 billion lost in a matter of days. Those who held Terra's Luna or UST stablecoin effectively saw those holdings reduced to zero. For anyone watching who is affected in such a way, I have two things to say. First and foremost, money can always be made back, no matter how bad your financial situation might be. So long as you're alive, the situation can be resolved. Consider for a second the fact that you're even alive to begin with is proof that you come from a long line of fighters. You have it in you to overcome this obstacle just like your ancestors overcame theirs. The second thing I want to say is that if the Terra situation has taken your mind to a dark place, please consider reaching out to those who can offer support. I've left a few links in the description if needed. So, what the hell happened? Well, the short answer is nobody really knows for sure, at least not yet. The situation is evolving. Information is still coming out, and Terra tweeted that it will be releasing a detailed post-mortem in the near future. As for the long answer, I'll be doing an in-depth video about Terra's collapse later this week once more information has come out. But I'll give you the Cliff Notes version based on the information we have now. So to fully understand what happened, you need to be familiar with Terra's mint and burn mechanism for stablecoins, specifically UST, a decentralized stablecoin that was once pegged to the US dollar. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. So, minting 1 UST required burning $1 worth of Luna and vice versa. So if you had 1 Luna and Luna was worth $10, you could burn it to mint 10 UST. Conversely, if you had 10 UST, you could burn it to mint 1 Luna, again assuming Luna was trading at $10. If UST was trading at, say, $1.50, this created the incentive for Luna holders to burn their coins to mint UST and instantly make a 50% profit for selling UST for, say, another stablecoin. This increased UST's circulating supply, and the sell pressure restored UST's $1 peg. The same process worked in reverse. Now, when the crypto markets were going up, Terra's mint and burn mechanism worked quite well because Luna's price was going up with the rest of the crypto market, along with the demand for stablecoins such as UST. In Terra's case, most of the demand for UST was coming from Anchor Protocol, which I won't get into here. Now, when the crypto markets dipped...
Real quick on the Anchor Protocol, 67% of UST was there before the collapse. 67%. And people were making upwards to 20% on their money. Basically, think of it like this way. People had money in their savings account on Anchor and they were earning 20% on UST. There were a lot of people taking advantage of that. They didn't think this was going to happen, right?
Terra's mint and burn mechanism didn't work so well. This is because Luna's price started to go down, along with the demand for stablecoins. As a result of the mint and burn mechanism I just mentioned, a reduction in the demand for stablecoins meant UST dropped below its $1 peg, as people sold it off for actual fiat to cash out. With UST below its peg, many UST holders began to burn their UST to mint Luna, since they would get $1 worth of Luna in exchange. Logically, they had to sell that Luna for something else right away to actually get their dollar when Luna was crashing, and this caused Luna to crash even more. The end result was something called a death spiral, which has been the unfortunate fate of many algorithmic stablecoins, and this is basically what happened to Terra. To try and prevent this death spiral, a non-profit that coordinates Terra's development, called the Luna Foundation Guard, had been accumulating billions of dollars of BTC, which could be exchanged for UST in the event of a market meltdown. This would take the sell pressure off Luna and supposedly stop a death spiral from ensuing. The only problem was that the Luna Foundation Guard was forced to sell its billions of BTC to protect UST almost as soon as it had finished accumulating, because UST started losing its peg faster than anticipated, supposedly because of a whale who was dumping UST on exchanges. With the BT...
Was that whale BlackRock and Citadel, though? That's what we don't know. Who was that whale, right? Was it market manipulation from the powers that be? Could be. That's what Charles Hoskinson put out there.
BTC backstop gone, Luna started crashing as UST holders began burning billions of UST to mint Luna, and the rest is history. Again, I'll be doing an in-depth video about what went down in a few days, as there are many, many more layers to this sorry story. Now, as many of you will know, I wasn't quite convinced that we were in a bear market just yet. This is because BTC's price had been consistently setting higher lows since last May, as had many altcoins. Well, it's safe to say that the bear market is beginning to set in now, because BTC set a new lower low of under 27K, a price that we haven't seen since late 2020. The key word here is beginning, because we've seen BTC suddenly reverse out of lower lows before, most notably last May.
Yeah, I mean, remember, guys, last May, Bitcoin was down to 28K, and then it quickly went to $69,000. That all happened in a year. So there's no rhyme or reason, how long a bear market lasts. The whole 4-year cycle thing used to be very consistent because there weren't a lot of people in crypto. But now there are a lot of people in crypto. So, very smart people, way smarter than I am, believe that we're out of the 4-year cycles now. People who do TA have looked at it and said, yeah, the 4-year cycles are over. All bets are off because there are more and more people into crypto now, changing markets, changing the cycles.
If this trend of lower lows continues, however, then we will officially be in a bear market, and I know many of you would argue we're in one already. This is understandable given all the factors that are weighing down the crypto market, and the first is obviously Terra's implosion.
Not to mention Russia, not to mention inflation, right? I mean, just a host of things.
Terra's Luna Foundation Guard sold $3 billion of BTC in its attempt to protect UST. And though most of this BTC was probably sold over the counter, I suspect some or even most of it was sold on the open market for UST. Whether this sell pressure had any meaningful impact on BTC's price likewise remains to be seen, but it's arguably irrelevant given that BTC was being dragged down by a series of other more significant factors. One of these was BTC liquidations, which were likewise in the billions. Another significant factor was the temporary depegging of Tether's USDT stablecoin, which dropped to 95 cents. Now, this was a seriously bad sign because most cryptos trade against USDT. Nobody knows exactly why USDT temporarily lost its peg, but one theory is that it had to do with concerns about the regulatory scrutiny of stablecoins following the collapse of Terra. If you've watched my video about the assets backing stablecoins, you'll know that Tether hasn't exactly been completely transparent about the reserves backing USDT, hence the possible regulatory concerns. Meanwhile, the stock market was taking a nasty tumble in anticipation of the release of April's inflation figures for the United States, which came out on Wednesday. For those who don't know, BTC has recently been highly correlated with the stock market. The CPI for April...
Actually, all of 2022, that's been very interesting to watch. So it's never really been like this before, where Bitcoin and the stock market are essentially trading neck and neck, like lockstep with one another. Maybe it's because of how crazy the world is, all of these things going against the market, and maybe that's what's causing it. Or crypto is growing up. Crypto is becoming more legitimate. Crypto is becoming more of a stable investment. I don't know, maybe a combination of the two, but it's interesting to watch because in 2022, Bitcoin has been following the stock market in lockstep. I mean, it's been exactly like the stock market. It's crazy. And that whole thing could change real quick too. I mean, if the stock market continues to tumble and all of a sudden people look at Bitcoin and crypto as the hedge against inflation, which is a narrative, right? It's a narrative that has been around for a while, and we've seen it happen even in recent past with the pandemic. Then obviously, that would kind of break away from the narrative. But it's interesting here in 2022. It's exactly like the stock market. It's running parallel with it.
April came in at 8.3%, which was 0.2% lower than the month before, but 0.2% higher than what...
This is a good comment. Is USDC better than USDT at this point? I believe it is. I've moved a lot of my USDT into USDC right now. So there you go. It's more stable, if you will. But honestly, if I have stable coins anywhere, I'm trying to get that into cash.
What the markets had been pricing in. This caused both the stock market and the crypto market to continue their declines. What's
happening, Austin? Yeah, man, a lot of the stable coins, yeah, you're 100% right. A lot of the blue chips have been following the NASDAQ all year. You're 100% right, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy how closely related the top blue chips are with the NASDAQ. It's insane.
If you're wondering why, it's because high inflation means the Federal Reserve is likely to continue raising interest rates more aggressively than it otherwise would. I'll actually be doing a video about the Federal Reserve's recent financial stability report later this week too, so stay tuned for that. As for altcoins, select smart contract cryptocurrencies took the market downturn particularly hard, and this is again because of Terra. Its UST stablecoin was in dozens of DeFi protocols, and Terra's own Anchor protocol had recently expanded to Avalanche. Not only that, but Terraform Labs and Terra's Luna Foundation Guard had collectively purchased $200 million in AVAX in early April, leading to fears that AVAX would be liquidated to protect UST's peg, and it looks like some selling did in fact take place. In terms of how long this downturn could last, it's really anyone's guess. But if previous bear markets are anything to go by, we might not see the bull market come back until Bitcoin's next halving in late 2024. In terms of how low we could go, many believe that BTC could fall as low as 20K, given that this was the high of the previous bull market, and BTC has never dropped significantly below its previous bull market top during bear markets. Note that the downturn will be twice as bad for most altcoins. Doing your own research is going to be more vital than ever in the coming weeks and months, and luckily, we have plenty of videos that can help you with that. Anyways, despite all the crypto market carnage, there have actually been a few bullish developments that seem to have fallen off the radar, and one of these was one of Australia's stock exchanges finally listing 3 cryptocurrency ETFs. For context, Australia was scheduled to list these 3 crypto ETFs more than 2 weeks ago, but the listings were suddenly delayed because of an issue with an unspecified service provider behind the scenes. Now, if you've watched any of my videos about crypto ETFs, you'll know that spot ETFs are especially important because they provide direct exposure to the asset in question. In other words, the ETF issuer must go and actually buy and sell physical BTC or ETH in response to the demand for their ETF. As you might have guessed, all 3 of Australia's cryptocurrency ETFs are physically backed, with 2 for BTC and 1 for ETH. Though each ETF has its own way of achieving a spot status, the end result is the same: direct buying pressure for BTC and ETH. Unfortunately, Australia's cryptocurrency ETFs listed when the crypto market was collapsing, and this is probably why they only saw $1.3 million of trading volume combined. This is significantly below the $1 billion that some experts were projecting. Even so, these 3 crypto ETFs are significant because they make Australia the second America-analogous country to list spot cryptocurrency ETFs, the first being Canada early last year. With Australia and Canada embracing Anywho, another crypto-related company that's been making the headlines lately is Twitter, and that's because Elon Musk is currently in the process of acquiring it for $44 billion. This is relevant to crypto because Elon has already hinted on many occasions that he plans on integrating more crypto elements with the social media platform. There's even been speculation that Elon aspires to combine crypto and Twitter with Starlink for interplanetary payments and communication, which, let's admit it, would be pretty awesome. By the way, US politicians will be holding a hearing about UFOs for the first time in 50 years this Wednesday, and I'll leave a link to the live stream in the description. I digress. Now, as amazing as all these ideas sound, at the moment, the focus is on Elon's actual acquisition of Twitter, which seems to have hit a snag after he started to question Twitter's claim that only 5% of its users are spam or fake accounts. If you're a fan of crypto and have been on Twitter for more than 10 seconds, you've probably encountered your fair share of spammers and fake accounts already, especially if you've dared to criticize any crypto project with a militant community. It seems that Elon intends on solving this issue by making it possible for real users to verify their identities via KYC, or even just by providing a deposit of some collateral, be it fiat or crypto, to create an account. Creating a cost for spammers and fake accounts would, theoretically, reduce their presence. Naturally, Elon wants to make sure that Twitter's user base is actually real before pouring tens of billions of dollars into the company. And the fact that Elon doubts Twitter's 5% fake accounts figure suggests that he thinks this figure is much higher. Now, this ties into something called the dead internet theory, which posits that most of the interactions you have online are not genuine, meaning they involve bots and fake accounts, and that most of the content you see on the internet was generated by AI and the like. Now, while the second part arguably borders on conspiracy theory, even mainstream media outlets have come out in recent years to ask whether the dead internet theory holds some water, specifically because of all the abnormal interactions on Twitter and other social media platforms. Turning to the charts, we can see that BTC is sitting at around 30K, which is admittedly below the support levels I suspected we could fall to last week. As scary as this looks, I'll remind you that this marks the 7th straight week of red for BTC, and I think it's been something like a decade since BTC has seen this long of a decline. I really want to say that a recovery rally is imminent, but I must confess that what I'm currently seeing looks more like a bear flag that could take BTC to the low 20Ks. Alternatively, we could see a small relief rally to the upside to around 33 or 34K, where BTC is likely to experience lots of resistance. Last week's top-performing cryptocurrencies were MakerDAO, the decentralized FEI stablecoin, the centralized TrueUSD stablecoin, the decentralized DAI stablecoin, and the centralized USDC stablecoin. Talk about clutching at straws. Starting with MakerDAO, the Maker token went on a tear after Terra collapsed, and this is simply because believers in decentralized stablecoins moved their money into the next best thing, which is MakerDAO. Not surprisingly, Maker's recent rally announced nothing more than a blip on its long-term price charts. Note that DeFi tokens of all kinds have been lagging behind the rest of the crypto market over the last year, which is quite unfortunate. Next up, we have the FEI stablecoin, which, is a stablecoin, so it didn't really pump per se. As I just mentioned, FEI is a decentralized stablecoin, and it seems it received some of Terra's mercenary capital as well. It's the same story with TrueUSD, DAI, and USDC, and I will note that it's interesting to see 50-50 representation of decentralized and centralized stablecoins on this list, even though it's somewhat arbitrary. It's even more interesting to see which decentralized stablecoins have maintained their peg despite the recent dip. The one that caught my eye the most was Magic Internet Money, because many Abracadabra users were using interest-bearing UST from Anchor Protocol as collateral to mint MIM. This just goes to show that decentralized stablecoins aren't all bad, and they're definitely needed because decentralization isn't just important at the blockchain layer. More about that in an upcoming video. And that is all for today's Coin Bureau Weekly.
All right, so there we go. Luna's actually pumping a little bit. We're up to the 20 level here in this half-hour look here. We can zoom in a little bit to the 5-minute. There you can see kind of what trend and trajectory we're on here. So this is nice to see. People enjoying this for sure. We haven't been here. We were here earlier today, earlier this morning, right up in these levels. We'll see if we can break through this 203 level. Oh, we're dialing back a little bit. So we're meeting some resistance right here. We'll see if we can break through. But guys, thank you all so much. Awesome Austin, what's up, man? The interest rates need to pick up quickly so we can move into a nice crypto run. The slower it takes to get back to the peak, the longer this bear market will go. Good points, man. At least that's what historical data shows. It's good points. Definitely. There's so many things outside of our control right now, outside of the crypto market, that is making it really tough for crypto to have success. There's no question about it. So, well, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Very grateful for everybody who popped in. If you're new here, on your way out, if you want to subscribe to the channel, would greatly appreciate that. Love you guys. Really appreciate you coming back. Hit that like button on your way out, too. I'll be coming behind this with some videos and things like that throughout the day. A lot to get to, a lot to unpack. Along with Terra, there are other things we need to address, too, in the crypto market, some other opportunities, that I see in the crypto market coming up very soon. And that's what I've got for you. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it. And see you all very, very soon. Later. See you in the next one.